Human trafficking is a huge problem around the world today. Most estimates say that about 30 million people are living in slavery at any given time. They're generally categorized into four areas of victimization. The first one would be sex trafficking, where those victims were forced to engage in sexual activities. The second category would be labor trafficking, where those victims would be forced to do all kinds of different work that is not sexual in nature. Thirdly, there are children all over the world, but most prominently on the African continent, who are being forced into soldiering to fight in ethnic warfare or tribal disputes. The fourth area that victims are found in human trafficking is through organ trafficking, where they're being tricked or defrauded into giving up bodily organs without payment or any kind of compensation. There are three types of responses to the issue of human trafficking in the world today. The first is rescue and restoration, actually going in and getting the slaves, the victims of human trafficking, rescued. The second category is legislative advocacy, where groups are working fervently with governments and law enforcement, making sure that perpetrators are held accountable and their jail sentences and punishments are appropriate for the crime. The third area of response is that of prevention, preventing it from happening in the first place, and that's the area that Hope 61 works specifically in. Hi, my name is Tom Overton, and I'm the director of Hope 61. Hope 61 was created about 5 years ago as a ministry of One Mission Society. One Mission Society has been planting churches and developing leaders in international context for over 100 years. And as a result of that, we have tens of thousands of churches that are connected and partnered with OMS in 77 different countries around the world. Hope 61 takes advantage of those partnerships and believes that the church is specifically and uniquely equipped to deal with the issue of human trafficking from the standpoint of prevention. Our training consists of 5 different parts. It is based first in education and awareness. We have to bring education and awareness to these pastors and churches around the world that this problem is happening right in their community. The second part of our training, we go through again why the church should be involved. Too often, the church has relied on law enforcement or their governments to address problems like human trafficking, and we think that the church has an opportunity and a responsibility to get involved. And so we work with scripture passages to show us the heart of God in this issue and why the church can and should be involved. The third part of our training is walking with each church and each pastor to identify what's causing vulnerability. After we establish what's causing vulnerability, then we look at what assets, resources, gifts, and talents the church already has that could be used to reduce the vulnerability in their community. And the last part of our training is an action plan. Every pastor, every church that leaves our training around the world goes with an action plan, a set of 3 or 4 or 5 steps that they can implement when they get back to their congregations. At the end of the day, we want our churches to be building bridges to vulnerable people that need help, but they also need to hear about Jesus, and they also need to be discipled. Now, you may be asking yourself, what can you do? How can you partner with Hope 61? The first is to give of your financial resources. We go all over the world and have plans to train more than 1,000 churches in the next year. We need your assistance to be able to do that. Secondly, we need you to get involved. We need international trainers. We need people to come and take our equipping training to be certified as Hope 61 trainers, so then you could go either to the ends of the earth to do these trainings, or maybe you're called to do a training or two in your own community, in your own place of residence. With your help, and certainly with the help of God, we believe firmly that human trafficking can be prevented, that human trafficking can become just a footnote in our world, in our history, that we can end this problem because God is bigger than any problem that we have. And when we ask God to help us and we walk alongside God's power, we feel like we can impact change in each and every community to transform this world into a place more like God intended for us to live.